What are some things you think people can do to actually have fun during their workouts, but not at the expense of program results? Because obviously that's a slippery slope. Something you alluded to before is the balance of giving somebody what they want, the fun stuff, versus what they actually need, which can be boring. So how do
Hmm.
you recommend people go about finding that balance of like, I want to do the battle ropes and the swing, like all the fun stuff, but you're also saying I have to do
Yeah.
these prehab drills. How does somebody find that balance?
I think just having a goal in mind. Goal setting is a big thing for me and my clients. I always want to make sure that we're working towards something. So having something, whether it's in the short term, it could be from a session goals standpoint, right? Like saying, I want to be able to do 10 reps of a goblet squat at a weight that I haven't done before. That's a goal specific or session specific goal that you can set for yourself, right? You transition that to a more bigger picture. And this is going back to like, mesocycles, macrocycles, etc. Just having these goals implemented along the way. That keeps engagement. That presents the buy-in, right? And if you're able to actually hit those little, concrete goals along the way, it makes this big picture goal not as daunting. You're having fun along the way if you're able to check those boxes. And even if you aren't able to, you're still working towards those things, right? So if I didn't hit that set session goal that we had within that session, shit, we're going to hit it next time. That's all it is. And you got something to look forward to once you get to that next session. So, having goals is smart, the acronym SMART. That's something right there. So being able to present these, specific goals, things that you can measure, things that are realistic. Like I think that's another thing going back to setting expectations. You have to have realistic goals for yourself. Understand one for me would be understanding the client, but from the client's perspective, understanding you as an individual, what are your capabilities, right? I think that's one thing that I see a lot of too is, a client will say during an assessment, I want to lose 20 pounds by next month. I mean, maybe there's some people very few people that, that could do that. So I'll always sort of dial it back and say like 20 goals, 20, and that's not down, right? 2 pounds a week, multiply that. I don't know if that equals 20. And you got to have everything in check in order for that to be a realistic goal, right? So yeah, just having specific goals, having things that are measurable, that's a very key point to get into where a client or an individual needs to be.
That's such a great piece of advice because I think it flies in the face of how most people approach their workouts, which is having the only metric of success be fatigue, whether they're diving into a group X class or they're, working out for 2 hours by themselves and they've had a bodybuilding.com workout or something. They're just like, am I
Yeah.
crushed? Cool. I did
Yeah.
something. And a lot of people don't realize, I know you do, obviously, with your athletic background. I've competed in powerlifting and strongman where we've had numerically driven goals. But I think most people are surprised, even if they claim they don't care how much they can farmers walk or how many push-ups they can do. When you start tracking this stuff and setting these very clear, specific goals, you have the opportunity to have a small win literally every time you exercise. Nobody leaves the gym and goes, wow, Kurt, I was more sweaty than I was last week. I'm more sore. I could walk upstairs even less than last week. But somebody, again, it's often people who claim they don't care about the numbers in the gym and it's just exercise. They're like, wait, I did that 3 months ago. And you're telling me
Mm-hmm.
today, all of a sudden I can squat my body. Oh my God. And then it gets to be exciting. And obviously that's
Yeah.
process oriented. So even if your goal is to lose 20 pounds and the workouts are a tool to help with that, and you claim you don't care, eventually when you start enjoying that process a little more,
Oh, you
like
start caring.
you care a lot more. But again, most people don't track their workouts. They don't even have the opportunity to do that. They just lift the
Yeah.
same weights or do the same things. It's very, I always say, or I quote, I forget where I got this from. Random workouts produce random results. So people are just kind of all over the place doing this stuff and they never get, a clear result. And I'm sure you see that all the time with
Of course.
kind
Of
of
course.
former group Xers, former hit workout type people, right?
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. The one thing I will say, the day I start using sweat as an indication of, as a gold indicator is when somebody's able to say, all right, so I'm wearing the same shirt every workout. I'm squeezing this shirt into a bucket and I'm measuring the amount of sweat that I'm actually generating. If somebody does that and they say, oh, look, Kurt, listen, man, I got a liter today. Next session, 1.1.
Something measurable.
That's when I start being like, okay, all right, we could use the sweat as an indicator of success. But till then, we're good on that.